What brand can go fuck off? National/international charities that give back minimally to the communities they pretend to serve. From Charity Watch. Top compensation, name, and title. Charity. Vivian Taber, MD. Chairman, attending Neurosurgery Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center. $4,869,769. The 31st of December 2020. Note, includes $3,350,000 bonus and incentive compensation. Robert W. Stone, President/Sear City of Hope, and affiliates $3,827,671. I'd follow. Looking at you, wounded warriors. Mary Kay. And all other pyramid schemes that sell themselves as self-employment. Fuck off with a sandpaper condom, and that does double for the folks that started as victims and then rope in others to save themselves. Excuse me, the sandpaper what now? I like the quality of Pampered Chef. I do not like buying Pampered Chef. I do love my $20 pizza cutter though, the cheapest thing there was. Fuck Cutco. Damn exploitation. Autism Speaks. Fuck Autism Speaks. My school decorated the halls for World Autism Day and encouraged us to talk about it in classes as kind of a break from work, and I mistakenly outed myself as autistic to everyone during one of those conversations. Later my teacher put on a whole PowerPoint drawing heavily from Autism Speaks, and everyone proceeded to speak to me like a fucking ape for the remainder of my time there. They don't respect us, don't want to help us, and in fact, seem to believe if we didn't exist then things would be much better. They're a disgusting pack of thieves, and they absolutely do not speak for me. Probably the worst thing they did was sponsoring the Judge Rottenberg Center. The stories that came out of that place put some horror movies to shame. Ticketmaster. Surprised I haven't seen it. You'll try and cross-shop tickets, just to realize they always redirect you to Ticketmaster, where you're gonna pay a huge amount in convenience fees. Buying 2 tickets you're pretty much paying for 3. Not only that, but they also own a ticket resale company and set blocks of tickets aside for resale at marked up prices. They also negotiated with ticket brokers to sell certain tickets to them before public availability. There was a Rolling Stone article I read several years ago detailing all their shenanigans. Also, don't forget that Live Nation owns Ticketmaster as well as concert venues, so they basically have monopoly on live concert tours. Anyone who makes college textbooks for outrageous prices. I've had US textbooks in Europe. They have a special edition that is not for sale in Canada and US because they don't permit that bullshit predator practice. That reminds me of a physics book I had to buy in undergrad. I found a copy on eBay for like $30 that was the same edition and had a slightly different cover on it as the $180 version, but it had a note, "Not for sale in the US" or some nonsense. I figured it was worth a shot. The book was literally identical to the other one in every way, except for the cover and the warning. That was the point I realized exactly how screwed students are. De Beers. One of the main exploiters of West Africa in recent memory, a near monopoly on diamonds jacking up prices, insists that you must buy your loved one a real diamond from them, and not a cheaper synthetic one, in order to prove that love. Don't call them synthetic diamonds. Call them real diamonds, because legally that's what they are. You can also call them ethically sourced diamonds, because that's also true. FTC ruling. Shein. Art theft, lead in children's clothes, undoubtedly slave labor in there somewhere. The $1 fast food meal of clothing. Are they the ones where the workers were stitching help into the tags? Can fuck off once for each random ass incremental charge. My SIM card blew out one day when I was a wee lad of 16, and I went to the store to get a replacement. Quick, easy, painless. Guy checked my number, gave me a new card, and I was on my way. 6 months later we go to switch cell phone carriers and Dad tells my dad that I signed a new contract extending the plan for another 2 years and wanted to charge him a huge early cancellation fee. Months of him arguing with them asking to produce a legally binding document signed by not the account holding 16-year-old. Nothing. Finally he had a lawyer friend draft up a cease and desist letter and they finally dropped the charge. They may call themselves Xfinity, but I know they asses are Comcast. Fuck Comcast. Everyone hates us. Should we change our business model and stop being pieces of shit? No, let's just change the name and hope no one notices. The cable TV business model is infrastructure-based political corruption. Cable TV was built out as deliberate regional monopolies. Unlike the phone company, they didn't have to let anyone else use their lines. Leased line service was essential to the development of retail internet service. And they're free to lobby aggressively against anyone ever being permitted to compete against them. Cable internet companies suck because they are cable TV companies, which are the very exemplar of entrenched monopoly privilege. They are essentially tax farmers. Purdue Pharma. Highly recommend the book Empire of Pain, which tells the story of the Sackler family and the origin of the opioid epidemic in America. Insane history behind the pharmaceutical industry, with a heavy focus on Purdue Pharma. Edit. I'm very glad this has sparked so much discussion. I'm not that interested in non-fiction for the most part, but this book was that good. It will change your view and opinion about addiction for sure. It is absolutely sickening the size of their role in the opioid epidemic. They are literally responsible for hundreds of thousands of deaths, all for that sweet $$. There is a documentary on Netflix that goes over some of their involvement and their marketing of OxyContin called The Pharmacist. Even that limited coverage of their actions made me sick. They knew their shit was addictive, dangerous, and hurting/killing people, but they truly did not care, as long as they made money. Herbalife. Specifically those Herbalife nutrition drink shops. My parents bought into that bullshit, and I spent 9 years having breakfast of weirdly tasting shit that lasts all of 15 minutes, before I'm hungry again. I actually started getting them regularly, when I thought there was just a nearby smoothie store on the way to work. It's healthy, they said. You'll lose weight, they said. It actually was pretty tasty, probably because they loaded it with peanut butter or something. And I did lose weight on it for a bit, although that was because I was replacing bigger meals with this shit, and then going hungry. Speaking of shit, it gives you pretty violent diarrhea. I figured out the connection pretty quickly. I mean, technically, you'll lose weight, but I wouldn't recommend it. All payday loan companies can fuck off. My brother took out one of these, right before I took over his finances, to help get him straight. He didn't realize he had effectively taken out a loan at 2700% interest. And that's not an exaggeration. 1 week he had the money and already owed 150% of the original value. Absolutely insane. I used my own money to pay it off, because that one loan would have broken him financially. The 3 over-limit credit cards and upside-down car loan was manageable. This shit was not. PG&E. They have fucked over so many Northern Californians, between faulty equipment starting fires to working with Gavin Newsom to make the consumer pay for their damages. They suck so much. John Oliver made a last week tonight about them. Brewers in NorCal even started making beer called PG&E Sucks. Following up with SDG&E, which is even worse. San Diego pays more for electricity than anywhere in the entire country. Nestle. They are cartoonishly evil. Baby formula, targeting African developing countries, and falsely advertising point that their baby formula is better than the mother's milk. Also failing to explain the need for water sterilization when their formula came out. And the worse, giving formula to hospitals for free, so the formula supplement interferes with the mother lactation, and the mother stops producing milk. When they leave the hospital, they are forced to buy formula. They want to control water and make you pay for it. They are the largest bottled water company and have famously said they believe water is not an universal right. Child labor, abuse and trafficking. Their cocoa industry supply chain is filled with allegations of use of child labor on Ivory Coast and allegations of kidnapping children from neighboring countries to work in the plantations. Health threats. Products with bad quality control cause the hospitalization of people and deaths. Examples: cookie dough with E. coli in US 2009, and milk contaminated with melamine 2008 in China, causing a great number of victims. Pollution. Besides incentivizing people to drink their bottled water, they are responsible for a long list of environmental violations. Ethiopian debt. Trying to force Ethiopia to pay their debt to them at the same moment the country was facing a period of extreme famine. etc. Any brand that has ads on YouTube that last longer than 30 seconds I've seen some which are 45 meters long. I skip them of course, but who the fuck is paying for a 45-meter ad? Do they think they're reaching anyone with that? Lol, I used to get these hour-and-a-half ads of just some random dude doing his podcast. It's like, bruh, this is not the way to make it. Like, the message that sends alone is awful. I may be wrong, but I think the advert itself is a YouTube video and views for the ad count for the video. So you can have some dude's ass podcast and it can have 3 million views and he's like, yeah, check out my successful podcast video. I think